Hi, I'm James Lim, founder of the Property Plus system, and today I'll be talking about what is going to happen in second half of 2025. And to look into it, I will actually look at the launches that's going to happen for the second half of this year. So when we want to look at these launches, we are looking at total 6,500 over units that's entering into the market this year for sale. Okay, and is this a very huge number? My answer is no, because over the years, even before COVID, we are actually looking between 6,000 to 8,000 launches, and this is actually what we consider on average. Okay, so this is a very expected number to look at. But more important is that we have to look into the location. Which district is it located into? So I think that is a more important thing to look at. Okay, now besides all this, Autoplace is the only EC that's going to launch second half of 2025, and definitely with only one EC launching for these 6 months, definitely the expected pickup rate is going to be a lot. Okay, now when you look at this list of time, more important, I also look at the land price and also the total number of units. These two to me is much more important. Now why the land price is because just by looking how much the developer bought the land for, we will be able to estimate how much the selling price is going to be. So for example, upper house, which is the land price is 1,600 per square foot per plot ratio, but basically you just have to do a multiplication of by 2, and we expect the expected PSF to be selling roughly between 3,200 to 3,300 per square foot. So this is actually the price that we are going to look at. Okay, why total number of units is important is because of 3 factors. Now, the first one is actually the facilities. Some people like small units development, small number of units, which is like less than 250 or less than 300. Reason is because they have more privacy. Okay, but again, if you're looking for a mid-size development that is like between 5 to 600 units, definitely there'll be more facilities. Maybe there are more swimming pools, 2 to 3 swimming pools inside the facilities. Okay, the second reason why people like huge size number is because with bigger number of units, the total maintenance fee will actually be lesser. So there are some places where maintenance fee is very cheap. It's because there are mega developments where they have like 2,000 over units in this development. Okay, of course the third reason is actually because of profit. Now with a huge development, let's say 600 over units, basically there's going to be more transaction volume when people are buying and selling at the time. So the demand will be greater, and because the demand is there, therefore there's more transaction volume. It is more updated. There's sales every single month. Therefore, the overall profit is actually much more than smaller size units. Okay, so you can see from this list on my first page, there's total number of 10 units. And if you look at the second page, on the third quarter to quarter 3 to quarter 4, there is a total of 5 units, which means total there is 15 over units actually up for sale. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to next compile all this into a data of a pie chart, okay, of where these are located. Now these are the 3 zones of Singapore. Core Central Region, or what we call CCR, it consists of 5 different districts. District 1, Marina Bay area. District 2, your Tanjong Pagar area. District 9, Orchard Road. District 10, Bukit Timah, and District 11, Newton. So what is going to happen, you can see that, right, there is 46% or 2,700 units, right, that is available up for sale in the Core Central Region. Okay, RCR is only 36%, which is actually pretty close, less than 10% of it, which is this is what we call the city fringe location. Okay, like your Margaret Drive, your Queenstown area. And lastly, more important is that your OCR has only 1,100 units, which is less than 20%. So now majority of Singapore buyers actually go for OCR. Over the years, OCR basically make up 80 to 90%, but for this quarter, it actually makes up less than 20%. So this is something to take note of, okay, if you are looking to buy somewhere outskirts. Now why I say this is important is because first of all, I'm just going to talk about which development to look up for. Okay, so these are some of the properties that I strongly recommend that falls in line with my Property Plus system, and I feel that these are very good profitable properties and with very good developers with very good amenities, and it's near MRT station. Okay, so of course there's a huge list. I have difficulty in choosing the top 2, but then again I managed to choose 2 that I think is actually the best. Okay, so if you look at CCR itself, The first one is actually Upper House itself, located right next to Orchard Boulevard MRT station. That will be the brown color Thomson East Coast Line. Okay. Now the next one is actually River Green itself, located at near River Valley Road there. Okay, along River Valley Road. Now why River Green I feel is very strong is because besides it being near MRT station, it is also well priced, okay, which has a very good price that the developer is selling for. And lastly is right next to or within 1 kilometer from River Valley Primary School, and having a very strong primary school nearby gives a huge incentive for this property to boom. Okay, it is also near the Great World City itself, so amenities there is very strong, good pricing, near good school, near MRT station. Therefore, it is rightly going to be highly sought after. Okay, there's a nearby project called Avenir that was sold last time in the past. Also, the sales rate was actually very good, and that is why I'm very confident that River Green is going to be selling very well. Okay, well, when we are look at RCR that time, my top two will be Linden Woods and Margaret Drive GLS land. Now, Linden Woods is actually located at Science Park. Now, Science Park and Media Circle is actually what I consider the future, or right now the Silicon Valley of Singapore. Okay, right now it is near MRT station. It is actually very strong, highly sought after area, and if more companies are entering into the Science Park itself, therefore I believe the property price has only one way to go, which means going up. Okay, Margaret Drive has always been very strong. Now between the two, I still feel that Margaret Drive is better than Linden Woods. Okay, now Margaret Drive GRS is what we call government land sales. Okay, the name of this project is not out yet because it's too soon. The developer has not come up with this name yet. But then again, why I feel it's very strong is because it is a short walk to, it is the old Queenstown Library itself, and it is actually a short walk, 7 minutes walk to Queenstown MRT station. Okay, very good location, city fringe location, and more importantly, if you were to look at that area, okay, over there, recently the news of the property HDB has been sold for 1.56 million, where the owner actually walked off with more than 1 million profit. Okay, so that's important. Why? Because the buyers over there definitely will be from this HDB group of upgraders, and with them earning over 1 million profit, definitely they will be able to buy into this Margaret Drive GRS land. Even if we were to look at the past historical trend of that Queenstown area itself, for example like Queen's Peak, Commonwealth Towers, these till now are very highly sought after properties, easy to rent out, good property price, good location, and on the first day of sales they have been selling very well. So I believe this will actually fall into this factor. Now do not be surprised, Margaret Drive, even OCR, Canberra Crescent and Springleaf, right, on the first day of sales we do expect sales to be like 80-90% sold. Even if it's 95% sold, I'm also not surprised by these type of figures. Okay, now when we look at OCR at the time, the two locations I look at is actually at Canberra Crescent itself and Springleaf Residences. Okay, so these are the two. Now these two projects actually located near MRT station. So I think and the price actually relatively good. Okay, look at my previous slide to calculate how much they are selling for. You will feel that they are going to be very cheap. In fact, they are going to be one of the cheapest new launch in Singapore right now. Okay, which means affordability. People who want to upgrade from HDB to a condo, they will definitely be able to afford it. And because they are going to able to afford it, people is going to buy it. Okay, and somehow it is very affordable, very cheap lah. Okay, and it's right next to MRT station, so it is a project that cannot go wrong one. Okay, so this is my take of what I feel, what projects are good for this in Singapore for this year. Okay. Now, what are the implications? Now, implications, I feel the first one I will mention is, actually I feel that there's going to be a shift from RCR to CCR. As mentioned, almost 50% of the project's launch is going to be CCR. So buyer's mentality is going to say that, okay, I am going to go to the RCR show flat to see, okay, like Linden Woods. And what if I were to pay a bit more? Will I be able to get something better like near Orchard Road itself, or near a good school near River Valley itself? And definitely people is going to shift from the RCR into to CCR. Okay, so there'll be more demand in the CCR area. Okay, now next, investors is definitely going to look for value buy, because there's a lot of very good projects up and coming, near amenities, near MRT station, near good school, and price is very affordable. So investors have a very strong big buffet to choose from. Okay, so they are actually looking for a value buy. That's why when we talk about launches that time in the OCR, although it is less than 20%, 18% only, and it is actually a very cheap land price, which translate into very cheap properties, cheap condominiums, and also with very good amenities. So I know that the demand is going to be there very strong. Okay, now the price is also expected to stabilize, especially in the CCR and the RCR. Although the demand has shifted, but don't forget, the demand still comes from the RCR. So if we look at the CCR and the RCR, in total they make up of 88%. Okay, 82% of the total pie this year, which means there's a lot of what I call a lot of supply, and then maybe the demand will not be able to match. Therefore, I do expect RCR and CCR, maybe they will hit roughly around 50-60% the most maximum, while those in the OCR is definitely going to hit like above 90%. So I do expect the prices to increase in the OCR, because number one, the lack of projects. Number two, these two projects are very highly sought after in this type of location. Okay, so this is what I believe is going to happen for this year. Even if going into next year, maybe next year, the first half of the year. Okay, so if you are looking for properties with good value buy, do look at my slides or my recommendation or what I think is good. If you have more questions you would like to ask, please feel free to WhatsApp me. I will definitely be able to answer you. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up button, because it will help in our YouTube algorithm for me to share more video with the people around. And if you like this one, please do subscribe to our video. That's all I have for you. Thank you so long, and bye.